Hi, my name's Kathy and welcome to Fusion Latina, the only TV show that brings Latin American culture right into your home. Today, our friend Elise is going to take us to the secret alleyways in Melbourne filled with street art. Then we're going to meet Lulu from Mexico, who is a social advocate. And last but not least, Pedro is going to make some delicious arepas, which is a traditional Venezuelan dish. So, welcome to the show. As you wander around the Melbourne CBD, you'll notice the beautiful artistic expressions all over the streets. These are perhaps the most mysterious and distinctive features of our city. And every year, thousands of local and international tourists visit the site, but few know the hidden meaning behind these pictures. Well, our friend Elise is going to take us on an adventurous journey to find out the meaning. So let's go. Hello, welcome to Fusion Latina. My name's Elise and today we're in the lanes of Melbourne and I'm with Zoe from Urban Scroll. She's going to show us around. Thanks for coming today, Zoe. Where are we going to go today?
Thanks for having me. We're going to go for a walk around the laneways looking for some of Melbourne's best hidden secrets.
Cool, let's go. So we're now in Hosier Lane. Zoe, what can you tell us about Hosier Lane?
Well, Hosier Lane is kind of the jewel in the crown of Melbourne's street art laneways. There's heaps of really high quality artwork down here. We have artists coming from all over Australia and all over the world to paint in this laneway. The piece up here on the wall behind us is a beautiful piece by an artist called Adnate, who's a local Melbourne artist. It's a portrait of an Aboriginal child, and it's important to note that the Aboriginal child is looking over the land at Federation Square. The land at Federation Square was used as a meeting place, a place for cultural celebrations by groups in the Kulin Nation, so Victorian Aboriginals, for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. So this child is looking over it in a protective way. Well, this part of the laneway, it looks pretty over the top and chaotic and full on, but I actually really like that. It's just an explosion of colour. It's like being in a film set or something.
It's really unique. Do you find that around the streets of Melbourne there's lots of different mediums used, like not just spray paint as so many people would think?
Yep, there's all sorts of stuff. There's paste ups, so there works on paper,
Yep.
that are glued to the wall. There's stenciling, there's bits and pieces made out of junk and material, and also sculptural works made out of concrete. It's really fun to go out and look for them and have the satisfaction of finding them. So this is a piece by Deb. This is one of the most loved pieces in Melbourne. Deb now lives in the States. She's a professional street artist over there, but every time she's back in Melbourne, which is her hometown, she comes and touches this piece up because she knows that people just absolutely love to come and get their photo taken in front of it. It's one of the icons of Melbourne's street art scene.
Now we're in AC/DC Lane, another lane in Melbourne filled with artwork tucked away in the CBD. What can you tell us about this lane?
So this laneway is very special because it's got one of Melbourne's best live music venues in it. It's called Cherry Bar. It's just down behind us here.
Cool.
The laneway is named after the band AC/DC, And a lot of the artwork down here relates to live music. Music in general has a really important role to play in Melbourne, and we can't let it be shut down. So this is a bit of a protest piece, which is really exciting that people are getting behind music venues and supporting them. This here is a piece by an artist from Sydney who's called Will Coles. He makes artwork out of concrete, and I really love his pieces because you could easily just walk past it and never see it. And they're all over the city, so you can go and do a treasure hunt and find them all. Okay, this is one of the real hidden treasures in the city. This is a piece by Banksy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Banksy is the most famous street artist in the world. He came here in 2003, did a bunch of stencils. A lot of them have been painted over, and every time they get painted over, people get really upset about it.
Yeah.
I can understand that, they are quite special, but Banksy is a street artist and his work is not meant to last forever. He himself has said that he wanted to be a street artist because he doesn't like the idea of art being a trophy. Street art is temporary, it's not meant to last forever, and that's one of my favourite things about it, because the laneways are always changing, there's always new stuff coming along here.
So here's a piece people probably walk past every day without noticing. Is there something you can tell us about this one?
Yeah, totally. It's so unexpected here. We're standing right next to a huge skyscraper, but it's a beautiful piece by an artist called Roan, who is, again, local, and it really shows how far street art has come. It's really been welcomed into all parts of Melbourne life, including the corporate life.
Now we're in the hidden Croft Alley, tucked away off Little Burke. What can you say about here?
Well, Croft Alley, yeah, it really is one of the hidden secrets in the city, and it's proof that it's really worth exploring the laneways and just poking your head down and seeing what you can find. Here on the street, it doesn't really belong to anyone. It belongs to all of us. We all share it. And that's one of the really nice parts of street art. It's accessible art for everybody to come and see for free.
Thank you so much, Zoe from Urban Scroll, for showing us around today. I had no idea that there were so many secrets hidden away in the veins of Melbourne. I'll be sure to keep my eyes peeled when I'm walking around the city now.
Yeah, definitely. Look, once you've started noticing it, you can't stop. You'll see it absolutely everywhere.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for watching Fusion Latina. Remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Now getting to the more serious part of the show. What some of you may not know is that recently Mexico has suffered a drastic increase in the amount of violence. Since the emergence of delinquency as a lifestyle in the country, the government and the civil society are in the middle of a social problem that cannot be controlled through the traditional state policies. Our next guest is Lulu from Mexico, who is a social advocate. She invites Australia to have a look at the problems and try and find a solution.
My name is Lourdes Garcia Larque, and I'm a school teacher and a radio producer in community radio, and I live here in Melbourne. In 1999, I was in high school in the state of Mexico, and in that year there was a strike that paralyzed the National University for 10 months. My high school was not part of the university, but I knew about this and I started being interested in what was happening. So I wanted to study at the National University. So I wanted to know more of what was happening, but I originally enrolled to study literature. I was interested in media and literature. And I think was this experience of the university strike and other things that were happening around the world, like in Seattle, the international demonstrations of what we call the globally phobicos, that made me interested, and that's how I chose to study Latin American studies, to learn more about Latin American struggles and stories. And so then I became further interested once I learned more about it. Well, here in Australia, I think in general, people are upset to know that these kind of things happen in Mexico or anywhere around the world. And especially when the Mexican government is trying to give this show of face that they are a democratic government, that there is respect for human rights. I think the media has offered here in Australia some news about it. Some news about the corruption of the state and about the presence of illegal gangs in Mexico. I think, however, that sometimes it's a bit sensationalistic, you know, like sort of almost saying, like people just kill each other in Mexico without analyzing properly like the lives of how people got missing and also what's the real responsibilities of the state. I think people like the Mexicans who have decided to do these demonstrations or events to provide information, we are playing an important role in informing the Australian population of other views about the issue and how it goes further than just there is narcos and drug lords that are just making a mess of Mexico, but also trying to bring the responsibility of the government and all the governments that continue to support the Mexican government instead of demanding that there is justice for the people in general. And so we see how a lot of activists have suffered repression as the 43 students from Ayotzinapa. They were activists too, and they suffered this fierce repression. But there is also a lot of hope and there is also a lot of wins. Just in Chile, yesterday, that was May Day, thousands of people came to the street, and especially students. You know, students that, as young from high school, they want to see change. They come to the streets, they sing, chant, march, and they are making changes happening. Just recently, the Chilean students achieved to have free education for all. That was a win that they have been campaigning for many, many years, and it finally seems that is becoming a reality. So I think that as long as we keep campaigning, as long as we keep being active, there is a lot of good things to come, and we can make it happen.
Welcome back and thanks so much for watching. Now, if I asked you, where would you like to go for a holiday in South America? I wonder what your answer would be. Well, we took to the streets and asked some people, so let's hear their answers.
Hi Fusion Latina, I'm Diana and I'm here in Melbourne, so I'm going to ask the people which country in Latin America would you like to visit and why, so let's go. What country in Latin America would you like to visit and why?
I think Argentina, probably because of the culture there. I've had some friends that have gone there before and they just say it's a really relaxed vibe, so just go there for a month and just do nothing really. Yeah.
Chile. I've always wanted to get to Valparaiso. It sounds gorgeous. the Arica Desert up the north, and just Santiago. Know a lot of people from Chile. I would like to get there one day.
I would say Brazil because it's so big and there's so much to see there, and I think that you can see a lot of things. I love the football over there as well, and the culture and the dancing and the beaches.
I like the sound of Cuba. It's got a good history.
I think I'd like to go to Patagonia for the mountains, to be able to get up and climb in the mountains and experience the wonderful environment there.
I guess I would like to visit Panama. My sister's been there. I've heard great things about it. It's less visited than other countries, other Latin American countries, and I think that'd be cool, off the beaten path a little bit.
I'd like to go to Ecuador. It just looks really exotic, and the rainforest, and I don't know, I just think it'd be quite different, really like different culture.
Chile, yeah, because we had friends that came from Chile.
Maybe the Brazil, because I don't know, the Brazil is beautiful, and we have the carnival in the Brazil.
I think I would love to visit Brazil.
I'd probably like to go to Brazil to see Rio, the statue of Jesus.
Brazil? Probably Brazil.
Brazil, probably.
Brazil.
I'd probably say Brazil.
No, Colombia.
Probably Bolivia. I've been living in Peru for a year, and met quite a lot of Bolivian while I was there. And I heard a lot of good things about that country, so probably that one.
Cuba, is that down there? Yeah, so Cuba. They have,
Cuba.
They have lots of cool old cars there, I hear.
Yeah. Probably Argentina, just sort of because my family's from there, so I sort of wanted to visit that area.
Mexico is very good, so I'm kind of interested in that. And it was unexpectedly good.
I would love to go to Bolivia, to the city of La Paz.
I'd like to go to Brazil, especially because I like the South American culture. I like the football, and I've heard a lot about the nice beaches and nice food there. So yeah, Brazil definitely, and maybe after that Chile. Yeah.
Some wonderful answers there, guys. Now, Pedro is going to show us how to make one of the most traditional dishes from Venezuela, arepas. Arepas have been around for a really long time, and they're still a very popular dish in Latin America today. So, here's your chance to make them. Let's go to Pedro with the recipe.
Hello Fusion Latina, my name is Pedro. I'm from Caracas, Venezuela. Welcome to my home, and today we're going to prepare our traditional cornbread called arepas. The arepas are made of white pre-cooked corn flour, water, salt, and make the dish. So let's get started. First we're going to take flour, put it in a pan. Voila, voila, voila. We add a little bit of salt. We can have it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime, all right? The arepas, we just put the corn flour, the salt, a little bit of water, 2.5 cups, as I said, and then we mix it, as easy as that. We can use a spoon just to start the mixing, make sure that it's very well, and then our secret, our hands. Their hands is the best thing to make the arepas. Actually, in Venezuela we call it amasar, which come from the hands. Amasar, mixing.
Yo nací en esta ribera del Arauca vibrador. Soy hermano de la espuma.
So the mix is already done. The dough is very uniform and fresh. So, as you know, the arepas is one of our favorite dishes in Venezuela. But the best thing of them is just to have to make it in family with your best friend. So now I'm gonna call an expert. Yana, come here to give me a hand making the arepas. I'm sure you know how to do it. You just take a small, come on, take a little bit of dough and you make a small ball. You make a round. You start a little bit and you make it like this, you see? Very nice, round arepas, all right? See? Excellent. That looks beautiful.
Me arrulló la vivadía de la brisa en el palmar.
You know what is great the arepa for? The after parties. All Venezuelan after the party, we go to the areperas, which is the arepa shop.
Yo tengo el alma como el alma primorosa del cristal, del cristal. Amo, lloro, canto, sueño, con claveles de pasión, con claveles de pasión.
Okay, so keep doing the cross. We've got the cross for one on the side. We just turn around and make the cross to the other one, right? As you can see, the arepas are very, they're not sticky. The dough is just moving across the pan. Going very well. Well done.
Y del sol.
Alright, Anita, this is looking good. Very nice. So now we're gonna take the arepa from the pan and let's put it on the oven.
Y por eso tengo el alma como el alma primorosa. Y por eso tengo el alma como el alma primorosa.
So the arepas and they're gonna be ready to go to the oven. You like it, right?
Yes.
Good. Let's go to the oven. The oven should be at 180 degrees, and we're gonna leave the arepas here for about 5-10 minutes.
Amo, lloro, canto, sueño, con claveles de pasión, con claveles de pasión. Para ornar las rubias crines al potro de mi amador. Yo nací en esta ribera del Arauca vibrador.
Okay, 5 minutes, the arepas are ready. Let's take it from the oven. Careful, it's hot. It's looking very, very good. Right? So, the key of the arepas is not the arepas by itself. You can eat in different ways. The arepa by itself is called the viuda or the widow. And you can fill it with black beans, shredded cheese, bull meat, and even chicken and avocado. All of them have very different names in our Venezuela.
You can really fill them in with anything you like.
Alright, so this is very easy. You take the arepas, take the knife, open it, you take the dough. You can eat it like this, and you can put cheese on. If you put cheese, it's called la peluda, or the hairy. Look how nice it is. And the last one, the queen of the queens, la reina pepiada. It's a mix of chicken and avocado. One of my favorites.
Con claveles de pasión. Para ornar las rubias crines del potro de mi amador. Yo nací en esta ribera.
Alright, so you have it. This is a traditional dish, arepas. Can we try one, Diana?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Wow, they look delicious. Well guys, thank you so much for watching Fusion Latina today. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. I hope you had fun, I know I did, and I hope you learned something. I'm Kathy, and we'll see you next time.